Morning. We are running a bit late on our scheduled discussion, but we'll be moving to this exciting panel discussion where all we are going to explore is one of the most pivotal pillars of climate action, that is going to be renewable energy. Last day also we had discussion on multiple aspects of this renewable energy and how this is going to have futuristic impact. Today's panel discussion will be moderated by Mr. Jatinder Pal Singh. But before that, I would love to introduce my other panelists who are going to be on stage and sharing their insights on it. First, I would like to call on stage Ms. Abida Aneez, Vice President CSR at Group Legrand, India, a passionate CSR leader driving energy efficient and inclusive electrification initiatives across urban and rural landscape. Please welcome ma'am. And now Mr. Prabhu Narayan Singh, his Chief Sustainability Officer at Waaree Energies Limited, representing one of India's leading solar energy companies. He has been at the forefront of scaling solar innovation and sustainable energy practices. Welcome on both, sir. And then we have Mr. Raman K, who is Director Market Development at GBCI, that is a green building and energy expert. And he brings deep insights into market transformation through policy, certification, and performance-driven matrix. We also are having squadron leader Ankur Naik. He is Director Corporate Affairs at Punjab Renewable Energy System Private Limited with a background in both defense and renewable energy. He bridges strategy, execution, and community impact in this bioenergy sector. So I think we have the esteemed panelists on stage, and we'll be also joined by Mr. Jatinder Pal Singh. I would ask him to please come on stage. And he's sustainability lead at the Kalgidhar Society, that is an advocate for clean energy and education. He brings an experience of powering grassroots transformation through sustainability. So, yes, this was a brief introduction to our panelists and moderator. And now I would give it to Mr. Jatinder Pal Singh to take it forward and have this insightful discussion. To you, sir.
Thank you so much, Abhishek ji. First of all, very warm welcome to all the dignitaries, respected panelists, and our audience. Thank you so much for being here. Today we are going to discuss about a narrative which is beyond profits. We are going to talk about sustainable future. It is a story in which the heartbeats of the ecosystem resonates in rhythm with the heartbeat of our Mother Earth. We all know that in the world of economy, climate change is taking a center stage, and renewable energy is becoming a key enabler to resolve the challenge of climate change. So in today's panel, our focus is on how this key enabler of sustainable future can help us in fighting with the climate change and how we can create sustainable future through innovation, policies, and the arrangements which need to be pushed and motivated in the community. First of all, a big round of applause for our panelists for joining us in this panel discussion. We are very fortunate to have our experts from the diversified fields, from the corporates, from the manufacturing side of renewable energy, and also from the side of certification, Mr. Raman Kumar from the Green Building Councils, Abida ji and Prabhu Narayan ji from the Legrand and Waaree companies corporate side, and special guest, I would say special because he has served in the as an ADC to the two past presidents of India and also a pilot, Mr. Ankur Naik. So we start with the first and the foremost thing about the sustainable energy. We all know that it is very essential, very critical, and very important for us. But till now, we have been able to do only a significant portion in our generation capacity. We know that when we talk about renewable energy, we talk about solar, we talk about wind, we talk about biomass, and we talk about hydro as well. So first of all, we would like to see how the corporates are aligning themselves with the aspect of not only decarbonization but also promoting renewable energy in their own endeavors, because we know as a wheel this is one of the key areas when corporates come forward to adopt decarbonization and renewable energy. So we would like to start with Abida ji, and we would like to know that how Legrand is coming forward as a policy, as an intervention to adopt maximum renewable energy in their endeavors.
Good morning to everyone. Thank you, Jatinder, and special thanks to CSI Universe for giving us the opportunity to present here and share our experience and expertise. And it's my pleasure to share what we are doing. So with respect to the climate action, as you said, yes, it's a hot topic today. And like you heard what Career MD is saying. So companies like us are really now, as a group Legrand, we are globally committed to become net zero by 2050. So as a company, you know, we are globally presented in more than 80 countries across the globe. And we are one of the leader in electrical and digital infrastructure building. And of course, being in this electrical segment, it's not easy for us. We are also indirectly and indirectly contributors of 40% of GHG emissions through buildings, because electrical sectors, power, electricals, everything is necessary for part of everybody's day-to-day life. So being known that we have, through Paris Agreement, we committed to become carbon neutrality. In that, a lot of actions are happening across globe, especially in the scope 1 and scope 2 and scope 3. So with respect to coming to the energy segment, our major commitment, and we are doing this past almost in the last 20 years. So at least of late, in the last 6 years, we have a stable and robust actions. So towards energy reduction, 10% of our energy reduction through all our operation activities, and promoting and increase the renewable energy by installing solar and largely solar installations in all our operation sites are major priority actions. So through that, I would like to share you that, okay, we are as per the 2023 data, or 2024 data also, we are able to actually at least consume our total, and out of our energy consumption, 80% of us coming through renewable energy. This is happening through not only through our internal installations, but through open source purchase through PPA agreements, and also through the REC, Renewable Energy Certificates purchase as well. This is what I mean, and our goal is, of course, our 2020 this recent roadmap also. We have committed to at least 70%. Our target is for all the countries, 70% of our energy consumption has to be mandatorily renewable energy. So this is not easy, you know, just to give a data as a larger picture, our energy consumption in 2023 across our sites was in 2023 as on December was 384 gigawatts. In that, 194 gigawatts came through renewable energy. So you can imagine the impact, of course, which is resulting into 98,000 metric tons of carbon offset through this initiative. And we are definitely continuing our journey through various actions, of course.
Yeah, this is very inspiring, as Abida ji shared that from 2023 to 2024, from 3.8 gigawatt, 384 gigawatt to 180 gigawatt approximately. So it is very clear that when corporates come forward with the intent, we can hope for the sustainable future. And intent is the foremost thing. So I would also like to ask this question to respected Prabhu Narayan ji. He has double named as Prabhu and Narayan both. So we can expect some more depth from him. And Prabhu ji, how it is that you are Chief Sustainability Officer at Waaree, and Waaree is also a manufacturer of solar modules, a leading manufacturer in India. So you are already contributing in the mission, but along with that, through your internal, how Waaree is contributing towards this mission of net zero and contributing towards the sustainable future.
Okay, thank you very much, Jatinder ji, for the question, and good morning, everyone. And thanks to CSR Universe for having me here. Now coming back to the question, we are supporting this climate change initiative globally, and we are known for solar panel manufacturing because we started with the solar panel manufacturing. But as on date, if you look at, we are not only solar panel manufacturer, we are actually an energy transition company. We are into solar. We are now with the acquisition of NL. We are now into wind as well. We are into green hydrogen. We are into battery storage. We have the largest order book of EPC contracts. So we have a separate EPC division and IPP division. So we are into almost all the spectrum of energy transition that is there. From solar panel manufacturing perspective, if you look at, we are India's largest solar panel manufacturer as on date. And if you exclude China, we are actually the world largest. So that is the quantum. And that is how we are contributing to the this cause of climate change. And we believe in walking the talk. So when we say we are supporting everybody, we look back in our own operations as well. How are we contributing and what are the energy patterns that we have inside, in-house. So that is how, and to support this entire climate change journey globally, we have started doing these fundamental things. The solar panels that you get, we have done the life cycle assessment of those panels to make sure that we know what are our carbon footprints of our products and how are we improving that year on year so that you get a solar module with a lower carbon footprint. And we published the very first verified EPD in India. So nobody has verified EPDs published for solar panels in India till date. And the highest bankability rating, A rating for all our panels. Apart from this, the way other CNI users, other industries are doing, we have also started looking at our own energy consumption and reducing it. Almost all our rooftops are having solar panels in-house, and through PPAs and through our IPP, through our EPC division, we have made sure that most of our energy comes from renewable sources for our internal consumption, and so that you get a solar panel with lower carbon footprint. So this is how we are contributing, and we are committed to contribute it to the still in a still better way. Whatever in our capacity, whatever little we could do, we'll keep doing that.
Thank you, Prabhuji. This is very interesting to know that publishing the first EPD, first in the country. So this is something, the leadership, this is also setting the benchmark in the industry for the sustainable future and the practices. Ramanji, you are from the certification side, and we were seeing in the presentation when the presentation was happening in the Beam Hall, and Abida ji also mentioned about, in terms of their energy consumption across the buildings. So it is very evident, very clear that the major consumption is happening in the buildings, and the scope of implementation of the renewable energy is not much because the rooftops are not much available. As Abida ji mentioned that they are also procuring power, renewable power from the open access. So it is very clear that the amount of energy, the amount of consumption, rooftop cannot be the only provider for it. So how do you see the corporates which are looking forward to adopt or implement renewable energy practices? What could be the ways that corporates can harness to have maximum alignment towards the decarbonization or the net zero through the practices?
Yeah, thank you. And first of all, thanks to the organizers for inviting me today. Just to give a perspective, as Sir mentioned, I represent the organization which started this entire sustainability movement through our framework called LEAD, which is now 32 years old. In fact, as I'll also correlate with what our guest lecturer spoke, building accounts for 40% of the GHG emission. So that's why we focused in terms of how to make the building which is being designed or operational at a sustainable way. That's why the rating program has been designed. So we give more focus on the energy efficiency, particularly as sir mentioned in terms of the renewable energy aspect. So we also encourage the project team in terms of strategies in terms of the on-site solar or off-site solar, or some other strategies like the biomass or biogas or even geothermal. There are few projects in India which have used geothermal to achieve the energy efficiency part. So these are some of the strategies which they have been attempted. And I also correlate with what Mr. Prabhu said. We're also now encouraging projects to look at, in terms of the material and resources, how they are doing that LCA for their projects and product. And the product which are being used in the construction of the project, whether they are EPD or HPD certified, because they can also get credits by using only the products which are EPD or HPD certified. So this is what we are trying to do in the market. In fact, in terms of in line with the decarbonization movement, so we also iterate our own rating program to make sure that the building which are making sure the buildings are very high performance. So the next version is going to be launched, it's called version 5, where we have credits focused on decarbonization, quality of life, as well as the biodiversity, because which is being dealt in detail in terms of the new credits. So we feel more and more strategies will be adopted by the clients when they are designing as well as operating buildings, so that they can move towards a net zero target.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It is very wonderful to see that the way he has mentioned that the version 5 is going to be launched, which is going to talk about the biodiversity and the quality of the life, which are often, I would not say neglected, but not considered into the mainstream of the green building concept. So it is good to see that the things are evolving on that side. Ankurji, Ramanji talked about the life cycle assessment. Prabhuji talked about the life cycle assessment, and you are expert into the biomass side. Your organization, Punjab Renewable Energy Systems Private Limited, is pioneer into the biomass side. And it is well known fact that this is related to the circular economy, and life cycle assessment things are kept at, at a distance as compared to the other technologies. So there is a lot of potential into the biomass for creating the sustainable future, but yet the wheel is not picking up. So what do you see that how we can have more participation for the biomass projects into the ecosystem?
So first of all, thank you for having me here, and thank you CSR Universe for having us here. I will talk about the CSR part later, but thank you for a very, very extremely relevant question. In the power mix, as far as what Government of India decided, we see everywhere solar and wind taking priority, hydro is taking its own journey. However, and I'm not saying this because I am from the biomass sector, but we have come through an entire journey of seeing the Brazils of the world using the biomass in 1970s to get rid of the pollution part, which is now eating up into our own and our children's and future lives. Wherein we've seen that biomass is currently in abundance in India, being 70% of our economy being agriculture based. And now with the migration happening around 60%, 55 to 60% of India staying in villages.
Yes.
And I want to also pertinently mention here that the biomass agri-residue burning problem is not only in Punjab, Haryana. In fact, the biggest state that does it is Madhya Pradesh. And we don't come to know because there is no pollution news which comes out of Madhya Pradesh. All the Southeast Asian countries also historically burn their biomass, agri-residue, but with changing weather patterns, we've seen winds coming into Delhi, and this particular problem comes up. So going back to the question, why biomass? One, it is the only renewable energy source which is available 24/7, 365. Wind has its problem, solar has its problem, hydro has its problem, geothermal has its problem. We can go to any other relevant energy source, it has its problem. But biomass is available, number one, for free, like solar and wind, consumes very low amount of carbon usage as far as infrastructure development is concerned, etc., etc. And as far as circular economy is concerned, we have kept the farmer at the center of all this. So once the farmer sees an economic impact and a help when this kind of an activity happens, he sees how is it going through. The biggest problem today is that though we have declared our renewable energy targets of 235 plus up till 200 and 2030. However, no sector-wise targets have been given as far as solar, wind, or etc. is concerned, and especially not biomass. Secondly, market creation as far as the government is concerned for biomass is not there. We have in India every year more than, and the figures are debated because every organization has done their own survey, more than 500 million metric tons of biomass, and only agri-residue coming in. I'm not talking about the forest waste, etc., etc. And you would be surprised to know that we collect only 1 million, that too with disorganized sector.
Yes.
My company is the only one of the very few who are corporatized, and we are working on 19 states, and we collect biomass from parali to cotton stalk to soya husk to pulses to groundnut, everything which is available. However, one, market creation is not there. Secondly, there is no incentive for biomass supply chain management activity. We have seen over the last 5 years government putting up schemes of Satat schemes, etc. for leveraging this particular activity. However, biomass supply chain management has been the biggest problem, because the moment this biomass activity moves 60 kilometer radius and beyond, it does not become economically viable. Secondly, there is no price fixing mechanism. So what is the price in case there is an offtake of steam or electricity or biodiesel or sustainable aviation fuel or green hydrogen? It is still not been fixed. These are basic big problems which we need to quickly get on the desk with the government and with the public-private property partnership, get on the table and get it going very fast. Once that happens, you will see, of course, Delhi, the way it became blue during Corona, it will remain blue like that, and
Yes.
that is what we wish for.
It is very, thanks for sharing the elaborated aspect of the problem. It is very amazing to see that the kind of participation stakeholders, biggest stakeholders, in fact, in India, the farming segment is more than 60%. If all those can be structured, all those can be streamlined, a biggest potential could be there. The other thing which I was thinking, that Madhya Pradesh news is not getting captured because news is north, east, west, south, and Madhya Pradesh is Madhya, central. So that's why it's not getting captured. Prabhuji, we talk about, in this panel discussion, we are talking about the role of innovation and policies to give a push to the sustainable future through the key enabler of renewable energy. And we have seen a lot of growth in the solar industry. We have seen a panel of size 2 square meter having a capacity of 200 watts. And now we're seeing same panel size of 2 meter by 1 meter, 2 square meter is giving us a power in tune of 600 watt. So almost 3 times what we were getting 7 to 8 or 10 years ago. Also there are changes in the technology type. So how do you see that solar energy, like we have talked about, 280 gigawatt is going to come from the solar energy of the ambitious target of 500 gigawatt by 2030. So out of the 500 gigawatt by 2030, we are hoping to get 60%, almost 54% from the solar energy. And so far we have got about 110 gigawatt. And last year we covered about 23 gigawatt. So the rapid change in the technology and the need of having more efficiency so that the cost can be brought down for the more expansion. So how do you see innovations happening on the solar front, being a manufacturer of the solar modules?
Yeah, sir, thank you, Jatinderji. It's a very pertinent question. And the same size you described, that we are having lower power output than the ones that we are having today. And going forward with the new technologies, it will grow further. And if you look at the competition that we are into in global market, China is almost having world's 80% is under control of China in terms of solar. So we have a big competition. US is coming up, Europe is coming up, but still the China is the elephant in the room. So what we have to do is, while we are competing with that, and most of the technology also is coming from there only. So they are much ahead than what we are doing. So what we have started doing is, and by the support of Government of India, I would say many things are happening in India. and through backward manufacturing, through forward integration, we are trying to do lot many things to optimize this cost. And at the same time, we are collaborating with academia and others. So we ourselves have this collaboration with IIT Bombay, and IIT Bombay is working with us to develop perovskite, which is a new kind of solar cell, tandem solar cell, and with with higher efficiency. So with introduction of all these things, we are hoping that in the same panel size, you will see much bigger capacities, bigger outputs going forward. Because we see a big potential in solar to contribute to our overall journey. So that is why we are trying, and we are making all the efforts to make sure that we support this initiative, and we do our best.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Ramanji, we know that you are very much, your work is very much related to the measurement of what the consumption is. And currently, India has the per capita consumption of electricity in tune of 1300 kWh, kilowatt hours, and the per capita consumption of US is about 13,000. For Japan, it is 7,500, and China is roughly about 6,000 kWh. It means the per capita consumption of electricity is 5 times India, and US is 10 times India. And it is very clear that once a nation grows from a developing state to the developed state, the per capita consumption is going to rise. We see in our families, our grandparents lived without any air condition. Then our parents and then our kids, we see that how much extension is happening in terms of air conditioning, in terms of equipment, in terms of gadgets, in terms of automobile. So per capita consumption is going to increase, and we are also having the largest population next to the China in the world. So if the per capita consumption doubles, then imagine the per capita consumption as a volume, how much it goes. And since you are into the building side, how do you see to create a sustainable future? It is very important that our consumption is not only getting measured properly, but we also need to figure it out how it can be brought down, because keeping up a relationship balance with the growth and also reducing the consumption, otherwise we would be going towards the growth and sustainable future would be a distant task. How do you see that certifications can help into that front?
Yeah, very interesting question. See, what the projects are trying to do is, if there is a new project being designed, so if you go to any of the green building certified projects, they use more of a natural lighting. So they'll try to avoid in the daytime. So many of the projects, they try to avoid the lighting during the daytime so that they can take use of the natural lighting. And there are many automations have come in terms of automatically switching on lights, and even they are also managing the air conditioning load in terms of how to reduce. So there are many measures they have taken in terms of, by design, how can I reduce my energy consumption. On top of it, they are also seeing that how can I avoid the the energy consumption from the fossil fuel, so that with renewables, they are also trying to substitute. In terms of as you mentioned, the operational building. So we also have a platform which will track the performance of the building. So it is not only a certification. So what they'll try to do is, in a year, on a monthly basis, they can also have a live score of the building in terms of how they are doing in terms of the energy consumption. So they can also see, it will also give a feedback in terms of what are the areas they can try to implement or try to reduce in terms of the energy loads. So this platform will help all the facility managers in terms of where they are losing on energy or water. Accordingly, they will take an action so that they are also doing better in terms of the score, but also overall performance of the building. So that's what they are trying to do in terms of the operation building, wherein in the design, by design, they are seeing that how I can make sure that at the operational level, my building is doing in terms of net zero or LEED zero. So that's a concept now which every builders or the developers are now doing it. They initially started only how can I move my operational building to net zero, but now the discussions are happening in terms of, while designing, how can I make sure that at the time of operation, this building is going to do at a higher performance, or also moving to the net zero. So that's a discussion now happening with many of the projects in India.
This is very key insight, that right from the design. So it's going to be a blend of design, operation, and the integration of the automation. Ankurji, we also need to ask you that on the biomass side, that what could be the role of automation, IoT, AI, because it's a very unstructured segment and also happening very different working to as compared to the solar or the wind, need a lot of revamping into the segment. So how do you see the role of these things?
Exactly. We are not only a renewable energy company, we
Yes.
also believe in sustainability in our operations, internal operations as well. So what we have done is, and you will be happy to know, because technology is not a good technology unless it touches the lowest rung of the society. It should benefit the lowest rung of the society. So again, going back, we kept the farmer in the center of the activity. We have tied up with India's first blockchain protocol company, which is world's 32nd blockchain protocol company. And that blockchain protocol company is the world's greenest blockchain. So it does not use conventional mining purposes, etc., etc.
Wow.
So we are tied up with them. We have created farmer IDs, digital farmer IDs on blockchain. All our biomass which moves, it's tracked and traced with IoT on the blockchain. The moisture value is taken automatically so that the farmer gets paid based on the moisture value. That is also done automatically. So there is no human intervention. All this certification also on blockchain, so and they are verified around the world. When these biomass turns into a briquette or a pellet and when it goes for the ultimate usage, it is tracked till then, and then based on the client's requirement, in case he wants it to be tracked further for other activities, which is like carbon credit, that is also trackable. So today carbon credit has the biggest problem of track and trace, because how do you prove that you have saved that particular carbon to be going back into the atmosphere? So we have now tied up with them. We are already working on it. There are global companies who are now coming to us to do this activity. So we are right in the space of things with the best technology available today to do this activity.
Yeah, this is wonderful. I think that we should all applaud about the great initiative they are able with technology with the farmers, and ultimately we all know that we have a farmer producing economy. So the way the farmer are getting empowered through these kind of technology, not only from the production up till the carbon credit management. So this is something very, very appreciable. Thank you so much for doing this for our country. Abida ji, a small question to you. We know that Legrand do a lot of work for the CSR from the corporate side. So we are in this CSR conference, and Legrand does a lot of work towards the education, healthcare, and also towards the promotion of the green. And many of your CSR projects have been for implementation of the solar power projects to the needy in the sector. So what was your experience? Because it is also a way to create sustainable future, because once in a discussion with Abida ji, we realized that whatever the savings from the solar power plant comes, for an example, a 1 kilowatt solar power plant gives 1300 units in a year approximately, and a cost of 8 rupees per unit, it gives us a saving of 10,000 rupees per kilowatt per year. So imagine if 100 kilowatt is getting installed through CSR, it is giving a saving of approximately 10 lakh rupees in a year. So that 10 lakh rupees is bringing sustainability into the ecosystem of the education, and that can be very helpful in educating hundreds of students. So how was your experience in pushing the green reform and also addressing the needs of education?
We've been contributing towards community upliftment for the last 8-9 years. However, in the environment segment, we have started our initiatives last 1.5 year journey to address the environment challenges. We have launched a lot of impactful environment projects. In that, green energy, promoting green energy was one of the key initiatives. As you rightly said, there are a lot of groundwork, preparation, all we had to do, because I've been connected with the CSR fraternity in several. So corporate like us, when come forward, there were a lot of hindrance, a lot of obstacles we faced, which I really would like to share you all. In the last 1 year, we have installed more than 40 institutes with more than now 1,500 kilowatt of solar installations. Largely we were targeting education institutions, healthcare, hospitals, PHCs, even special institutes. These were there, which the idea behind is to, it's kind of indirectly promoting them, supporting them. Because in the beneficiary point of angle, you might say, you rightly said, they are not looking at the carbon offset emissions and all, they are largely looking at the, what would the monetary benefit they are getting it. So all the beneficiaries approaching us towards us. I still can quote, like there were a lot of interesting, even we have supported your Kalgidhar institute schools as well, where definitely from the beneficiary point, they could tell, because your institutes were serving the community, serving the orphan girls, and then the poor and needy students, offering the free education or subsidized education. So in a way, we think it is like a kind of a sustainable action. We are definitely, our larger goal is to reduce the carbon emissions in line with our net zero goal to the society, to the community. But from the beneficiary point of angle, you are saving the, yes, of course, is a larger, reducing your electricity burden or electrical cost burden. And this way you can also support either towards the education of the children. And I remember one of the project we done last year was in Amalner village of Jalgaon, where we supported with to solarize their community water pump. There is a community water tank pump which was providing the water to almost serving this to the 5,000 villages in and around. And the municipality approached us because their annual, the monthly, their electricity charges were approximately 4 to 5 lakhs. So we have supported them with more than 60 kilowatt capacity solar. We have given that. And our condition was, because it's a municipality, so what the condition we mentioned was, look, whatever 5 lakh kV, what you are saving, you need to give them the better amenities to the villages. So that was the gentleman agreement, because we are happy that that way we could contribute towards the improving the lives of the people. So that's the one thing. And even one Vallavaka project wherein we did the recently in Maharashtra. There we it's a trust hospital. I don't know, many of you are. I was so impressed because last 40 years they have been serving to the community, offering the free healthcare services freely, completely free. And they are operating in a very, very interior, remote area. So we had connected got this lead through our solar vendor, in fact. So we have provided more than 100 kilowatt. So what we were happy that, okay, they're around close to 10 lakhs or 15 lakhs they could save in their village, which they can actually cater to the need of serving the people with the free medical service. So this is one way, but of course, a lot of challenges also we face. That I will come back to you in your next question.
This is wonderful to see that how they have contributed towards the growth of the community and also created a sustainable model. And this is the best aspect, that CSR can also be utilized for creating sustainable benefits and the impacts for the community. Ankurji, the question to you is that since you are engaged with the biomass production and with the farmers community, and we know that it is quite challenging to put a structure for it. There could be some policy interventions, there could be some policy proposals, there could be some guidelines which could be very helpful. If given an opportunity to interact with the policy makers, what would be your key points to put, because biomass is not getting the day of the light. So how do you think that, what kind of the policy interventions can be very helpful?
So to give you three big points for this is, number one, the government should make a marketplace for biomass. It should mandate usage of biomass and bioenergy with corporates. And thirdly, it should ensure viability gap funding for all biomass related projects and try to give it a harmonized list of infrastructure in the RBI, which RBI maintains the harmonized list of infrastructure.
Okay.
So these are the three.
Sorry,
I'll just repeat for you. One is creating a marketplace for biomass.
Marketplace.
The government should make a marketplace, like we have FPOs around the country. The second part is, most importantly, force or either nudge the corporates to use bioenergy as a source of energy. And thirdly is to ensure viability gap funding for these projects because they are very capital intensive to start with. The ROI is fast, but they are very capital intensive because we collect all this entire biomass for the entire year in 45 to 60 days. Now there is no financial mechanism which gives you so much of an amount in 60 days. No bank does that. How do you ensure that? You put this particular sector into the harmonized list of infrastructure or sub-infrastructure of the RBI. So these three are the biggest policy activities. I wanted to just add, because you mentioned about CSR, what we also do is to go further ahead than what we do is that in the city of Aurangabad, we started during Corona time, we saw a lot of dead bodies burning around the country, and we saw what can we do for them. So we have created special pyre, and we provide the Shamshan Ghats with biomass agri-residue pellets. And the good part is that one, with all the sentiments and emotions attached, you will be happy to know that 100% of Aurangabad is now on on agri-residue pellets. The societal change is fantastic. We were ourselves not very confident because we understand emotions when somebody's loved one dies. We started with one Shamshan Ghat, then we moved on, and now 100% burning is on that. The good part is, one, it is cheaper, it is sustainable, as we all say, and the family who decides to do this also is, now we are trying to put them into the carbon credit mechanism, because why shouldn't they be compensated for this? Why should somebody who makes a tree and keeps it alive for 10 years, why should he not be compensated for it rather than cutting it for making furniture? So these are few things which we do, and other than that, other impact activities is that since we understand that farmer community needs training, so we do training. We have a village level entrepreneur model where we give them training, we give them microfinance, we give them all the particular machinery which is required for collecting all these biomasses. So we are trying to do this as a circular economy activity.
This is also very inspiring that we know that millions of trees are getting cut every year just for the purpose of cremation. And we know what we are gaining from that cremation. The trees are getting cut, pollution is getting into the environment, ecosystem is getting disturbed. So these kind of innovations, these kind of initiatives are very much appreciated for creating a sustainable future. We are just given indication from the panel that we are short of time. So I would just quickly wish to wrap with a small question to you, Abida ji, that if you have to seek for some policy changes, time is small, we will be quickly wrapping up because only 5 minutes are left.
Yeah, from the corporate point of view, as I mentioned, we have faced a lot of issues, challenges, hurdles in the beginning. Even I would definitely would like to acknowledge in the program about the contribution what you have given to us, extended to us, Jatinder ji, during the initial period when we were actually entered into the green energy space. We were definitely we were not technically equipped, know about the panels, the specifications, because we were getting a lot of quotes, a lot of proposals from many companies, and even the beneficiary point of view also, they also give a lot of requirement there. They may not have adequate space, but as the moment they say it's a CSR fund, the demand is higher, their expectations are higher. So it was kind of, when some vendors say, oh, this is a Italy make, this is that make, and this is what so the technical specification guidance, we were definitely crying, and definitely tons of thanks to you, Jatinder ji, what support you have extended to us during the period, guiding us, this is what it is, and so that is one thing. And secondly, this the site readiness, the beneficiary side, the demand is, but even we had a very bitter experience with one of them. Sorry to say, this in Haryana, one Berry PHC. We even installed about, very well, about 25 kilowatt. It's still unused condition because the cooperation from the local government, local authorities was very discouraging. So they doesn't value what the objective of this action, what we are doing, what is the intention of what we are doing it. Unfortunately, it doesn't value, they doesn't appreciate it, and the kind of support we are getting. So these all are things need to be get corrected. Means it should be a two-way actions. It's not the corporates, what we are coming forward, the similar, the equivalent opposite action has to be come from the local government body. So this kind of some policy. India vision is there by 2070 to be carbon zero, but everybody has to be to come together jointly for this mission to make it happen. As a citizens, as an individual level, as a corporate bodies, government division, everybody should respect why corporates are doing it. We are not looking at it like spending a money like that. We are very thoughtful process for towards building a long-term sustainable for the future world. Right.
Yeah, this is very appropriately said by Abida ji, because I study a report from GIZ. They shared that they have checked 40 plants, solar power plants located at different places, and most of them were actually operating at half of their efficiency. Generally, a solar power plant gives 13 to 1400 units in a year per kilowatt, but they were giving less than 600. So that's very sad to see that once someone have invested, particularly a corporate, CSR, under CSR, so they would definitely like that it is giving some benefit to the community. I have an idea about this, I will share it. But quickly, Prabhuji, in a 1 minute, any policy suggestion from your side?
I think to promote renewable, government has come up with PLI and many other things. But I would say one more thing is that we should look at the bigger picture. Our competition is quite intense with the bigger players. And that is why this PLI scheme and everything is good for backward integrating and everything, making sure that we produce everything right from polysilicon to wafers, modules, cell, everything in-house only. So the policy support is very good, and government should continue to make sure that we become a manufacturing hub in India.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. Anything from your side, Ramanji, in a 1 minute?
Only one thing, sir, because few of the state governments are giving the green tariff, in the sense the power generated from the renewable sources. So it is slightly at a higher cost than the normal energy. So if they make it at par with the general energy, that will help. Second thing is, there are few governments that they have challenge in terms of the wheeling of the renewable energy. So these are the two things. If they take it up, definitely we'll have more number of projects taking up the renewables.
Yes, large level of projects can be built
Yes,
up.
yes.
Yeah. We already have got inputs from Ankurji. So today we are very fortunate to have experts with us. We have got a lot of learnings with us. Ankurji shared us with the success stories of integration of IoT and AI and helping the farmers to increase their income, innovative models in the biomass. Ramanji shared with us that the inclusion of quality life and biodiversity and also the assessment right from the designing. And Ramanji also shared with us that how the innovations are happening. Abida ji shared us about that when a corporate moves forward with the intent and vision, such amazing results in terms of 80% of the power coming from the renewable sources can also happen. So these are the changes when the intent and vision are followed with a strong commitment, संकल्प के साथ जब किया जाता है उसको, तो then things do take shape and then things do get up to the outcomes. So we are very thankful to our panelists for sharing their wisdom, experience and knowledge with us, their success stories. Also one suggestion which I got from Abida ji is that from their experience, that CSR, when corporates are doing, they don't have much resources, A, on their internal team size, and B, the various expertise they need for the different projects. For example, solar project, for the building project, for the water conservation projects, many other projects are there. They don't have the expertise. If a panel of experts, some sort of can be developed, which can be accessible to the corporates for getting the support, that would be very helpful in making usefulness of the amount which they are spending for the benefit of the society. So these are some of the findings. We are again very thankful to our esteemed panelists for their support, wisdom, knowledge sharing and spending their time here. But over that, we are really thankful to our audience for listening with the patience, and due to short of time, the program started slightly late. We will not be able to take up the question. We have to wind up our own panel. But the panelists are available here, so you can exchange your questions with them, and don't take, we apologize that we couldn't take your questions, but you are free to take your questions with them offline. Once again, thank you so much to CSR Universe for this opportunity, for creating this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thanks to all our panelists for such a thought-provoking and inspiring discussion, and thanks to our moderator as well. We now take a moment to express our heartfelt appreciation to each of our distinguished speakers. For that, I would like to request Ashish from Interim Foundation and Abhishek to do the honors.
Artist will get some